Hi, welcome back again. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I'm in love with this book. This is the third time I have come across a book called, it's titled So Well Remembered, and it's just the perfect title for a junk journal because a lot of people use it for putting in their memories, or they add their own vintage and family photographs, or they put in things that they want to pass along to their kids and grandkids about themselves. Just, it's a perfect title. So I left the title, the gold debossed title here, and I added some internal spines. I picked this one because it has some natural blue threading in it that matched the cover. Then there's this music sheet here, which I did tint with some blue, sort of that peacock color. And then I added some other trims there. Now this is a necklace. I did not take it apart, so you can easily remove that. And then inside the locket here, let me see if I can get this open. Here we go. It's on a magnet there, and you pull it out, and it's just got the definition of love from a vintage dictionary. But you can pull that out and put in your own photographs or anything you like. But I just thought a locket with remembrance was really cool. So let me take you on a little trip through this book and tell you the history of all the different authentic and vintage pages. No commercial products in here. Before I throw it on my Etsy shop, which is hyperstamper.etsy.com. Capital H, apparently. Just some really fun clusters here. Whoop, whoop. I got a little extra glue there. And lots of trim in here. And this book was published in 1945, so it's an 80-year-old book. I've got a tag here from an old book cover, and I put in a ledger corner that had been torn off by accident with the hand stamped number there from 1885. I love this page topper here, Your Ladyship. That's from a book from the 1800s as well. And then here's a really cool check, almost 100 years old. It's from 1931. And I love it, from Atlanta. Look at all the stamps on there. It's just awesome. Stamp, just a million stamps. It's just fantastic. Love it. It's like a passport almost. This is a really cool plate from the early 1900s. I have another one similar for my Halloween journal, but this one says The Entrance to Sleepy Hollow. Isn't that neat? This is a really cool magazine page here. And it's just beautiful. This page here is all about smocking. Look at that smocked skirt. All the different things you can do with smocking. My mom used to smock my little outfits. I have pictures of that. It's pretty cool. And that is from the 1940s, I believe. There we go. A vintage botanical page. This is a vintage button card here. Some of the buttons are missing, but that's okay. It makes it cool. And that is a 100-year-old banknote that I slipped into there. Made a little pocket out of that. Antique book page pocket here. This is a plate from a vintage book. Really cool artwork, really different. And just another antique journaling card there. This is cool. This is from a vintage sewing booklet. And I just love the colors. It reminded me of the cover color. Stay Flex. Isn't that neat? Really cool images. This is an antique library plate that you would have put on glued on the inside of a book and put your name on it. It looks brand new. It looks like I just printed it, but it's actually antique, just never used. It was in pristine condition. This here is a really cool texture. It is from the inside of a spine when I pulled the book apart, and I just loved the texture of it. And they often used old book pages, scraps, in between as an extra layer of strength. So I thought that was pretty cool. This here is from that journal that I made a few days ago, The Rabbit Who Wanted Wings. And this is just a very sweet plate from that book. You can journal on the back there. This is from the 1800s here, from 1896. And then this is just a really fun vintage children's book page from the 30s. Look at that great image there of them playing tennis. Extracts from women's writing. Also the page topper of a very old book. 1930s children's book here. And then this is a hand-typed research paper, 1889 on there. And then this is a really cool page from a 1940s Theater World magazine. Look at that. All the advertisements for costumes and scene making, and oh, just so cool. Really fun. The Nightclub Beat. And another vintage children's book page there from the 30s. And another antique pocket down here, out with Romany. And there is from the 1800s. I turned that into a journaling card. And this one here is from an a very old magazine, and I want to say it's from the 30s. And that is from a vintage bird book, a hawk page. And then you can write on here, on the flip side, beautiful botanical there, vintage book. This is from the 50s, from the 30s, sorry, Mary Thomas's embroidery book. Sorry, no, I'm wrong. I was right the first time, 53. I was thinking 35. And this, look at this awesome house from the 20s. Isn't that neat? Still on its original page out of its photo album. And then vintage here, a recipe page which is desserts, delicious, from the 50s. This is a little plate here that came to me torn. Unfortunately, I couldn't save it. And that is from the 30s. And then this is a vintage bird book. Look at that. So I added some antique paper, just extra journaling space. I put as much journaling space as I can. You can always add more pages to the pockets. This is really cool. How to do bookkeeping and office work. This is one of my pressed flowers that I glued onto the page there. Just so pretty. I love pressed flowers so much. This is the spine of this book. So that's an 80-year-old spine there. And then this is one of the pages from the front of the book, so well remembered. And you can journal on there or add your own little collages. This is from a vintage Monopoly game. I turned it into a journaling tag. A little secret spot up there to journal, and here. And this is just from 1927 from a great catalog. Just look at this furniture for $9, $10. Just really cool. And then I have a vintage dictionary page, vintage arithmetic book for children. Really cool vintage crochet here. This is from 1850s, from Hogarth's artwork. Beautiful plates, really, really beautiful, thick textured paper. And vintage Monopoly money. More children's book pages here. That's a fun one. Vintage ledger pages. That's from an antique book there, The Light of Western Stars. It's long ago made into a journal. 1950s embroidery book page. This is from the 1800s here. And then this is just a front page from a book. And I just loved the artwork on there. So that is now a journaling spot. This is from 1927 down here. And that is from the My Book House series. And here's a little floating pocket. So I did another one of these pages. They had about 3 of them in this book. It's a journal front and back there. And then a little pocket here with another journaling card. Look at the Boy Scouts there. That is from the 50s. I love it. I have actually a lot of Boy Scout books and badges, all kinds of fun stuff. So if you ever want that in one of my journals, just send me a note. 1950s Pearl Shop receipt. You can journal front and back. Look at this fun front page. I have a lot of front pages in this journal. They're so interesting. Look at this fun one with the polka dots. It almost looks like somebody hand painted it. It's really cool. I love the discoloration on it too. I could have done a better job with tea myself.